Welcome back to Arlington, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the presentations this week. I want to start with a little background on the SMART program. Bowling has a long history of awarding cash prizes in competition, from casual leagues to our major tournaments. But league and tournament prize funds can create an issue for youth bowlers because earning cash for athletic performance can impact eligibility status for high school and college sports. That's why SMART started in 1994. To offer a centralized location to safeguard and manage scholarship funds in a way that protects athlete eligibility. The design of the program is simple. A youth athlete or recipient earns a scholarship in competition. The event operator or provider deposits the funds in SMART. When the recipient goes to college, he or she then requests the funds be paid directly to the school. The eligibility of recipients is protected because they never directly access the funds. To encourage event operators to certify competitions and participate in SMART, the program offered a benefit to providers as well, an allocation from investment earnings. SMART invests deposited funds and generates earnings on those investments. The investment earnings are first used to cover administrative expenses of the program. Then the additional investment earnings are annually distributed to provider accounts to use as new scholarship awards. You just heard Frank announce this year's allocation of $7 million. Additionally, providers are allowed to reassign expired recipient funds. That happens when a recipient earns a scholarship in competition, but the scholarship eventually expires if not used, and the funds are returned to the provider account as unassigned funds to award as a new scholarship. It's a great concept, but in order to work well, two behaviors need to happen. Number one, recipients must request and use their scholarship funds. Number two, providers must award new scholarships with those unassigned funds from earnings and expired scholarships. Unfortunately, instead, our research shows concerns on both of those items. Only 16% of funds available for college-age recipients are being used annually, and only 10% of providers are awarding new scholarships with their unassigned funds as intended. The result is that millions of dollars are sitting idle in SMART and not being used to help youth bowlers go to school as intended. Let me show you some numbers. Since 2010, the SMART Fund has grown from $39 million to more than $96 million today. Some of this growth was due to earnings on investment under the direction of the SMART Corporation Board. Providers have seen increasing allocations over this time. However, the result has been a balloon of unassigned funds in provider accounts. Unassigned funds in provider accounts has grown from $4.7 million in 2015 to more than $18 million today. There are a couple of key issues on the recipient side we can't change. About 1/3 of people never go to college. There's nothing wrong with that, but it means at least 33% of SMART scholarships will expire. We also know some kids are going to quit bowling. Their parents are going to move, change email addresses. Those scholarships, generally small, are forgotten and then expire. The data shows these issues combined are leading to about 40% of SMART Fund scholarships that will never be used and just endlessly cycle through the program. Looking at the trends, if the structure of the SMART program doesn't change, USBC staff projects the SMART Fund will grow to $165 million by 2030. And the percentage of funds coming out of recipients' accounts for college will continue to shrink. So what do? Last year, USBC brought in a working group to get feedback. Boards and staff don't always have all the answers, so we wanted feedback from the providers themselves. The working group included providers from all over the country, both associations and proprietors. We asked the working group a key strategic question about SMART. Is SMART's mission to continue with distribution channel exclusively through providers, or find a new path that distributes funds to recipients on a larger scale? The working group, again, these are all providers, unanimously agreed that recipients, the youth bowlers, should be the primary focus of the program, and success should be measured based on the percentage of scholarships used. They said the program needs to get more dollars out of the fund and used for education. The group supported reallocating a portion of future investment earnings and expired scholarships currently going as unassigned funds to providers instead to go directly to new recipient scholarships. Following the lead of the working group, USBC has a series of proposed changes for the SMART program to share with you today. As Frank said, these proposals are not final. USBC has a comment period through June 30th if you have feedback to provide. There are 4 proposed changes for SMART. Proposal number 1 changes the allocation policy. It divides future allocation of funds, both investment gains and expired scholarships, equally between providers and recipients. How would this work? Each year, SMART will announce an allocation, like Frank did today. Half that allocation will go to provider accounts as unassigned funds, just like today. The change will be sending half of the allocation directly to recipient accounts as new scholarships. Proposal number 2 describes how the new recipient scholarships will be allocated. The proposal calls for the recipient scholarships to be split 3 ways. A portion will be spread across all recipient accounts. A portion will be awarded as bonus scholarships for active recipients currently using funds, and a portion will be awarded in a new grant program to recipients who ask for additional aid. Again, the goal is to get more dollars used for education. Proposal number 3 addresses the problem with the escalating unassigned funds in provider accounts. This proposal sets a 2-year window for providers to move unassigned funds to new scholarships. After 2 years, unassigned funds will expire and return to the overall allocation pool. This policy will not go into effect until August 2023, so the first expiration date will not be until February 2024. The intent was to give providers plenty of time to plan and use unassigned funds. Proposal number 4 gives a new option for recipients who do not go to college. This proposal allows recipients to transfer their SMART scholarship funds to a family member after they turn 21. The family member must have graduated high school in the past 8 years and must have at least 4 years of USBC bowling history. The intent was to allow more flexibility, yet be consistent with USBC and SMART's mission to have a scholarship program benefiting youth bowlers' education. Clearly, these are significant policy shifts for SMART. USBC has published a 20-page research document on the future of SMART. The research includes more details on the history of the program, the working group, and the exact language of the proposed policy changes. Additionally, complete audited financial statements for SMART for the last 10 years are available on bowl.com. All the information is in the SMART section of bowl.com. We encourage all SMART program stakeholders to review the research documents and the proposed changes. You can visit bowl.com/Future of SMART to give your feedback. Again, there will be a comment period through June 30th, and the SMART committee will then consider all the feedback and announce final policies in the fall. SMART is a great program that's unique to bowling. Few sports offer young athletes the opportunity to earn scholarships for use at any college or trade school like SMART does. We have amazing networks of youth event operators around the nation working passionately for the benefit of youth bowlers. We certainly thank you for your support and look forward to your feedback on these proposed changes.